Hello world, I'm Marquis Smalls, your host for the Black People News, and today's segment is going to focus on the top 5 ways that the Republican Party can save itself. Now you might all say, like, why are you talking about how to save the Republican Party when you're clearly a huge Barack Obama supporter? Well, the first reason is because I believe in our country, and I believe that anytime you have a party that has control of the House and has big decision-making powers, then they need to be improved if we're going to move forward as a country. And I'm all about, America maintaining its position as the greatest country in the world. So with that in mind, what the Republicans need to do first, they need to start listening and paying attention to real Black and Latino and minority people, all the underrepresented people. They need to incorporate and listen to what people really want to see done in this country and give some thought to actually allowing some of those suggestions to come into their policy, come into their platform, to come into their future for, gaining some of those votes back that they obviously have lost, because they clearly don't have any Black and Latino friends. If you ever saw any of those rallies or any of those conventions, then Republicans lack on the minority front. Second thing they need to do, stop thinking elitist. Elitist is so passé, it's over. Everybody in today's world wants to be considered equal. We all go to the bathroom the same way. Your bathroom might be a little nicer than ours, but the fact of the matter is, humans are humans. So stop thinking you're elitist. Stop thinking you're better. You're not better than anybody. That's just a fact. So eradicate that from your thought. You're not. So just because you got more money doesn't make you better. All right? Third thing you need to do, share the wealth. Yeah, you got the money, so stop talking about it. Stop hoarding it. Stop hiding in offshore accounts like Mitt Romney and all these other dudes. Thurston Howell III and Donald Trump and all y'all dudes. Stop hiding your money. Share it. Put it back into communities. Go into African American and Latino and Asian communities and start programs that may actually educate people on what the Republican Party really wants to do. Actually teach people what conservatism is. Rush Limbaugh always talks about people being conservatives and, conservative this and conservative that. There's conservative people in Brooklyn. Find them, but share the wealth. Go in there and build and rebuild these communities. Don't just expect people to come over to your side and you haven't done anything for us lately. I don't think the Republicans have done anything for us since Lincoln. Yeah, Lincoln helped free the slaves, but, think about Reagan. Reagan put crack in the hood. So, all that great talk they always talk about Reagan, y'all need to really look at the facts and go into these communities and start to share the wealth and rebuild what you destroyed in the first place. That'll be a good start. Fourth thing you need to do, get over this thing about the open economy being a great thing for American society. When you got, for one, people who have been forced into slavery for over 400 years, people who have started the race behind, the mainstream people who have, underperforming schools, lack of resources, lack of wealth, no wealth to hand down to their children. The open economy is not fair to everybody. You got people coming from other countries. You got Latinos not speaking the language. You got, Asians and other foreigners not speaking the language. How is it fair in an open economy? How can people actually get a loan from a bank or, start a business when they can barely speak the language or they can barely read? So that whole notion of an open and fair economy being what's going to save our society, and you also have had control since the beginning of America in 1776, and you haven't offered to share any of the wealth or help start any businesses or help people develop their communities, why should we believe you now? Doesn't make sense. So please get off that one. And then lastly, stop being a bully. That's the last thing you need to do. You've treated our president so bad over the first term. You called him a liar. You got people waving their fingers in his faces. You made your whole priority to be that he couldn't get a second term. You tried to force Mitt Romney down our throats, and you still lost. So wake up. Nobody likes a bully. That's your problem. And y'all are so afraid to admit it and say it. Yes, there are certain factions of your party who are racist, and we understand that. But they're racist everywhere. But the fact of the matter is, you need to understand how to relate to people and stop trying to force your agenda down our throats and allow us into the equation for what helps make sense for us moving forward. So please start to work with our president to make sure we avoid this fiscal cliff. Please start to work with our president to make sure that you start to show him respect, and also make sure that you don't wait for him. Don't sit there and say that it's up to him to be bipartisan. When you were the ones who've been so disrespectful all this time. It's time for you guys to step across the aisle, reach out, bend the knee, whatever it is that y'all do, white people, and show some respect to the leader of the free world and show that you're willing to come across and listen and work with him to make sure that our country moves forward and is a greater nation for it. This is Marquis Smalls, Black People News, signing off.